8 o'clock on the pin on my watch. Oh, and on the thingy. I guess we're live now. It's flashing at me. Flashing zeros. Plan to go live. Oh, it looks like we're live. Hello.
Hey, Internet. How are you doing tonight?
Hello, watchers. Welcome to episode 3 of Bourbon Zeppelins. We made it. You made it.
We just by the skin of our teeth.
I'm so glad you turned the sound off there, because you were going to wind up in like this weird feedback loop.
In the
you were just going to hear
Twilight Zone looping around forever.
It's just going to be me shouting, "Welcome,
welcome,
Internet,
welcome, welcome."
Anyways, I'm one of your hosts, David Hughes. This is Jeremy.
How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing okay. How's your week been?
It feels like it should be Friday already. This week, I piled in. You posted earlier that what was your post on Facebook? It should be 3 o'clock by now? Nope.
Yeah, I was pretty sure the time had stopped this afternoon. It was like after lunch, and I felt like I'd accomplished a lot. And I checked the time, and I think it was like 1:45 or something. And I was like, it should be way closer to the end of my day.
Yeah, I feel like it should be way closer to the end of my week by now, but that's okay. We got lots more fun.
Yeah,
to have.
I was really confused all week as to what day it was. I was pretty sure that it was Thursday today, but I mean, I'm usually a day out anyway. At any rate, we've got tons of stuff to talk about this week. I'm just going to give you the rundown. So if you don't want to watch any of this, you don't have to. You can sort of skip around. I mean, obviously, in the live stream, you kind of don't have a
live
choice.
Stream. You're stuck. You got to watch.
You are stuck watching this in the order in which we do it. Well, I'll leave that one as a surprise. We're going to be talking about Bill C-62, I think, in Quebec, in Montreal. They passed a face-covering ban.
In Quebec, they passed a face-covering ban.
Yeah.
Which, so I'm assuming this is you can't wear a hijab when you're taking...
Well, a niqab or a burqa, if you are in a government building or a public school or on the bus. They expanded it to public transit. So that's one of the things.
You can't cover your face on the bus?
Oh, we'll talk about it when we get there. We're not there yet.
We're just sorry. Let's get.
So we got the face covering thing. There is a school board down in Louisiana that wants to ban To Kill a Mockingbird because of racist language. The book and presumably the movie. I don't. I don't know. As far as I know, it's just the book. And then, this is sort of more of a lighthearted story. There's some airline passengers who are angry at airline staff, stewards, I guess. I don't even know. Flight attendants. Thank you. So basically, something went wrong on the plane, and they don't like how the flight attendants reacted,
handled it.
All right. So we'll talk about that. There is a new hack
in technology today.
So Wi-Fi security has been breached. So bad news.
If you connect wirelessly,
if you use Wi-Fi for anything, like with that phone that maybe you're watching this show on. People can intercept and decrypt your information. We'll be covering...
It's all public now.
Yeah, we'll be covering the last couple weeks of Kickstarters to see how they're doing, and we have a new Kickstarter. I have decided which one it is, but I haven't told Jeremy yet.
All right, I'll pass judgment when we get to it.
I put options when we got in there. I probably... I guess I should use Slack at some point. So last week we started the show with reflections and corrections because we wanted to correct ourselves. I don't think we have any this week. I'm pretty confident.
We got it perfect last week.
I feel really confident about everything we said last week. I don't think we made any errors.
I've forgotten most of what we said, so
yeah.
If you didn't like it, let us know.
Yeah, that's what Facebook is for.
That's what Facebook is for.
Is
telling
letting
people
us
that
know
you don't
things.
agree with something they said.
If you want to call us an idiot, Facebook is the forum that was designed to do that.
Go with it. Makes, real convenient. This week's mass shooting was in Maryland.
So it looks like we have a new feature. We've been doing, this is the third episode. This is the third, well, not mass shooting. Last week's was only one guy.
Only one guy
got shot. It was a cop, though, in a police station. This week, it was 5 people got shot, 3 of whom are dead, 2 are critically wounded in Baltimore by a coworker. So
that's all we have to say.
That's all we got to
about
say. We don't have anything else to say about guns in the States. We've said it before.
We've said
you
all
know
that stuff. Okay.
So that's that.
Quebec. Their crazy religious neutrality legislation.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure, I actually haven't read the legislation. I've only read this article on the CBC, which I should actually post on our Facebook page.
Yeah.
I'll do that right now. But my understanding is the language specifically doesn't mention, it doesn't name the burqa. Like, it probably says, religious garments that cover the face or something like that. But I don't think it, names things specifically. And it's because I think they're trying to skirt around religious discrimination a little bit here.
Sure. Yep.
So basically, if you are in a public sector service, so if you work for the government, or you're a teacher, or you're riding the bus somewhere, you can't cover your face. That is the new law. There is religious exemptions that are apparently very specific. Like, I think you have to be a spiritual advisor. So if you're like a priest or an imam, I guess, then you could potentially not have to not cover your face. Of course, the thing is, especially in Islam, imams aren't covering their face. It's women who, generally speaking, aren't the religious leaders in Islam. There are exceptions to that, but generally speaking, not.
Right.
So this just generally is just a law that affects Muslim women, and I guess Halloween.
In winter, it affects everyone.
And people in balaclavas in Canada in the winter.
We're in Canada. We all wear them in the winter.
Cool kids don't. Some guys just grow beards, and we don't need to wear face masks.
Some people can't. This is total discrimination against people who can't grow beards.
Yeah. So, what are your thoughts? Good idea? Bad idea? Like it? Hate it?
I don't know. I was leery until I noticed in the article here it will also apply to doctors, dentists, and midwives. So, we're applying it equally across the board, apparently.
Across the board. Finally, those midwives getting what's coming to them.
It doesn't specifically mention the niqab or burqa.
But we all know it's not mentioned with a wink, right?
Yeah, exactly. So...
Sorry, I'm just posting something. Please continue talking.
I'm trying to formulate, how I feel. Why... What's the purpose to not being able to cover your face?
So the idea, at least my understanding of the idea, is that it's a public safety issue. So if you don't know who someone is and they commit a crime, you can't give a description of them.
Right.
Right? So it's like if a robber's wearing a mask, that's why robbers wear masks, right? So you can't identify them later. So the idea is... with a wink, it's not Muslims that we're scared of with this law, just people committing crimes with their face covered.
And to be sure, too, how many times are crimes committed by face-covered Muslim women? I don't feel like I hear that in the news that often.
You don't. So people who are really worried about this, I think, are a Muslim extremist man, could pretend to be a woman, dress up in a burqa, and then go wherever without being seen as being a man. Right? So he could hide his face from, and I'm not saying it's, I think it's far-fetched a little bit. I guess it's not far-fetched. It could happen, but
conceivably.
So, I'm going to actually go back to... just because something is illegal doesn't mean someone's not going to do it, right? So you could say, if some guy tries to walk into a parliament building legislature building in Quebec,
right,
and he has decided that he's going to cover his face, they're going to stop him right away. But, he can still, there's still ways around this.
Yeah, I feel like
I don't know that it's solving.
Do they have waves of face-covered people coming into these? Like, really, if you're that afraid of these acts being committed, can you not just like ramp up security and on those occasions, right? Where your face is covered? And immediately I heard like the bells of discrimination ringing.
Well, they're solving.
It's not discrimination in this case. It's just due diligence, right? If it's someone who you can't identify, just be able to identify that person.
If there was a problem, that we were trying to solve, like an actual problem,
and not solution without a problem,
and not like just a fear,
a theoretical problem,
right?
Yeah.
Then sure. Like if that had happened where someone, was wearing a niqab, or a burqa, walked into a parliamentary building and blew something up,
started shooting up the place,
maybe not blew something up, but let's say they shot something and then run away.
Yeah.
We have no idea who they are. We'll never catch them.
Right.
That's fair. That's never happened. That's not happened in Canada.
So the parliamentary shooter, that wasn't someone who was unidentifiable.
Nope.
So
sure wasn't.
Right. So this absolutely hasn't happened. This is a solution before the problem.
This is people being afraid of, Muslims. I think that's where I think this stems from.
Yeah, it feels like it. It feels like it,
right? Like it's hard to explain this to somebody, and they go, "Oh, well, why? Oh, well, what happened that triggered this?" Well, nothing.
Nothing. We just think it could.
We just think it could.
Right. and fair. And it could. Yeah. Like, you can't argue that couldn't happen.
Sure, but
the thing is the likelihood, and whether you're now actually going to pass legislation on this. How about we actually get some legislation going where we need some of this stuff instead of like.
This is it's not free to make laws, right? Like that costs taxpayer money. Now, I don't pay taxes in Quebec, technically. I don't think.
Yes, you do.
Well, I guess technically I do. Yeah.
Alberta equalization payments go to Quebec every year.
Equalization payments go to everybody. That's part of being rich.
For now,
that's our duty. Hey, I didn't actually put the article in, but we've got big growth coming. We're the two fastest growing economic cities in Canada next year, projected. Wow, that was just a really messed up sentence, or just random words that kind of started to make sense.
I knew where you were going with it,
but so there's going to be whatever. Right. So my point is, we should be okay next year. But that's just part of what we do. I know that. So some of my tax dollars do go to Quebec, and they could be maybe doing things that aren't stupid. And quasi-racist at the very least.
Quasi-racist.
I don't want to be. No, I'll come out and say it. I'll call it just being racist. Like, I know people hate here. Oh, you're just saying that because you're lefty. Yeah. You're bleeding heart. I'm like, no, this is pretty straight up religious discrimination.
Yeah, I can't.
Because there's only, as far as I know, like, I'm not a big religious scholar. I can't think of a ton of religions where there's a lot of face covering going on outside of Islam.
Islam's the only one I'm aware of, but again.
I'm limited in my scope.
There are new religions popping up every day.
All the time.
Okay. So, Quebec, spend your money better, please. You've got real problems. You've got real messes to clean up. Bunch of sewage going into some random rivers.
Try to be better people. How about that? Try to...
Wow, that was a broad stroke.
Yeah, like, try not to be discriminatory dirtbags is all I'm saying.
All right.
How hard is that? Open your mind.
Do useful things.
I think we're peaking a bit. I'm just going to turn this down.
Do useful things. All right.
If you're going to pass a law, that's fine. Just pass nice laws. Instead of mean laws. Okay, so let's move on.
Right. What else we got here?
We've got a school district in Louisiana, New Orleans.
Yes.
They are trying to erase To Kill a Mockingbird from their lesson plan.
The lesson.
That's the headline of the story, but basically it's they're removing it from a junior high reading list in a Mississippi school district. So I guess it's not like an outright ban, so I guess high school kids can probably read it.
Right, but in this article I also saw, weren't they also trying to remove it from the libraries? No, it remains in the libraries.
Yeah. There's
Okay.
links to a different
yeah,
article.
so I don't know. Part of me feels like the title is a lot more inflammatory than what's actually happening here. It's being removed from the junior high reading list.
Sure.
Fine. You want to go and you want to use other material instead. It was written 1962.
Mm-hmm.
So, 60 years ago, almost.
Yeah.
55 years ago.
So here's the thing. So, yeah, it's still in the library. They removed it from the reading list. So they're going to force an 8th grader to read To Kill a Mockingbird.
Right.
Put yourself back in the 8th grade.
Mm-hmm.
How much literature...
Oh, no. Nobody's going to read it anymore.
Nobody's going to read it.
That's not what I'm saying.
Yeah, no. I just want to make
pretend-
that clear. Like, we're sitting here, we're like, yeah, they're removing it from the lesson plan, but it's going to be available in the library. That doesn't mean anything. That means nothing. Nobody's going to read this
okay,
book.
hang on. It doesn't mean nothing. I mean, it is the
Ultimately,
difference.
it means nothing.
It is the difference between changing up the curriculum. And yes, in effect, what you're saying is eighth graders aren't going to be reading this book.
Probably not.
But it's far.
We might get a couple this year.
It's still far removed from what we saw like in Nazi Germany, where literature was being rounded up and burned in big piles, right? So I mean, like that's
sure,
not what
but
we're talking
removing
about.
it from the library also isn't the same thing as burning it in a pile.
Well,
because you could go to a public library and get it if they just remove it from the school library. Like,
Yeah.
like we could just keep going down this path, right? But my point is, like, an 8th grader isn't good. It's as good as removing it from from most 8th graders' worlds in this point.
Yes,
they aren't going to read it. A couple will. I think you're gonna have kids like maybe read a story about this and be like, oh, I want to know why can't I read it? Is it sexy? Oh God, it's awful.
I want to see what all of the taboo. This actually might be a good thing.
It might drive kids to want to read it. But it's only going to drive a couple kids. I guarantee a couple kids will just out of curiosity.
What if they published a graphic novel of To Kill a Mockingbird?
It would actually probably be really good. I mean, I wouldn't want Frank Miller to do it.
No.
But there's a lot of really good graphic novels out there. I'd actually,
that's what I'm saying.
I would probably read it.
You'd get 8th graders. You'd get all into.
Oh, sure.
That then for sure. Yeah. Is it so on a scale of oatmeal to epic? How tragic is this that they're removing this from the reading list?
Well, I think the reason they're doing it is more problematic than the fact that they're doing it, right? Like I understand that there's a lot of words that we don't say anymore in that book.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's like if you don't know the book, it's about a white woman accuses a black man of raping her, and then a local white lawyer has to defend this black man, and this doesn't happen, right?
Right.
So everyone immediately believes that the guy is guilty, and the lawyer has to sort of help people overcome racial prejudice in order to convince them that, hey, maybe he didn't actually rape this woman. So there's a lot of themes and language in there that we're trying to sort of stop people from using words specifically, and I get that, but I also believe that if you just sweep it under the rug, it's not the same thing as making people understanding why we don't say it nowadays. So a book like that sort of gives us a peek into the history of that word, right? Mm-hmm. When people used to use it, why they used it, how they used it. Nowadays, you sort of hear, you hear the N-word in rap songs or movies or what, depending on like what you watch. And there's no context really in terms of like if you're an 8th grader, you don't really understand maybe why we don't say that. Like why is it inappropriate?
Why it's inappropriate
for
why it's
my
offensive.
kid to say that, yeah. Right? And hopefully, and I don't know that that's the lesson that was necessarily being taught alongside this book, but I feel like it would be part of the conversation.
Sure. Well, the article's saying that they're removing it because they had complaints come in that some of the book's language, quote, and in their article, in quotes, makes people uncomfortable. This book should make you feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Not only
absolutely.
The language, the circumstance, the scenarios, like everything in this book.
Lots of great books
make
make people feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Like, I can't read Of Mice and Men. I only get halfway through it. I get so uncomfortable with that book, I can't finish reading it.
I've never started, and I feel like
It's
don't want to.
very sad. Well, so like for me, especially because my brother was disabled.
Right.
You know, this is a story about two brothers, one of whom is disabled.
Right. Okay.
And I know how it ends, and I start anticipating it like halfway through, and I can't finish reading it. It makes me sweaty and cry a lot. So.
Yeah.
So I can't do it. But yeah, like I don't have a problem with books making people feel uncomfortable. This other article, it does specifically say that students will not be allowed to finish the reading of To Kill a Mockingbird due to the use of the N-word. So apparently that's a letter a parent got, or an email.
Which I don't know. And I'm continually amazed in Canada how difficult it is for us to understand the racial tensions in the States because they don't exist in the same way here.
Yeah.
That's not to say there aren't racial tensions. I think there are everywhere in the world, but
absolutely.
certainly to greater or lesser
there's
degrees.
Real problems in
and
Canada that
different,
we ignore.
Yeah, different types and different. But this specifically, this black-white racial tension, we have no clue about how it
not on that
how
level,
it works.
not by a long shot. I'm sure that there are, black Canadians who would hear that statement and disagree with us. But
What? No, I'm saying like you and I.
Oh yeah.
I'm not speaking for all Canadians for sure.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Thank you for clarifying that. That was a close one.
Just saying.
Yeah. So
If it was your kid's school, would you be happy with this decision?
that this was being withdrawn.
Yeah.
When my kid's school here in Canada.
Well, yeah. I'm asking you as you.
Let's
say it was part of the curriculum,
And it
and
was
then
removed?
your kid moves into 8th grade. They're halfway through reading it, and they decide, nope, they don't get to finish the book.
They don't get to finish it. I don't think I would be all that upset about it. Maybe partly because I'm not a big literature buff as well.
Sure.
I would sort of be almost indifferent about it because having done it when we were in school, I actually did think the novel was a really well done story that gave a really good illustration about some of these problems, some of the issues. I thought the underlying message of the novel was a really positive one that, don't judge a book by its cover. Don't presume something about someone because of something that has nothing to do with the issue at hand.
Yeah.
Things like that. So I would have no problems with my kids, reading and studying the novel. To remove it,
Yeah, well, that's maybe the
I
better
don't
question
know.
is, would you have been okay with them if it's part of the curriculum?
Yeah,
Are you,
I wouldn't.
Are you
have-
okay with it?
I would have no problems studying this. I'd love to hear, arguments as to why we shouldn't study this.
Yeah. Yeah, like I'd like to know specifically what the complaint was. Like, is it just
Is
the
it
N-words
really
in
just?
it?
Yeah.
Yeah, like, is that really the only reason? Because that's a bad reason, I think.
I think it is because literature can address things that, can use language in context that you would never use today, right?
Yeah.
In the book, I think it's used in context, and I think it actually points out, it illustrates, it brings to bear how horrible the context of that word is.
Yeah, I think that's what art in general, like good art,
Yeah.
art that I like, I think that's what it does. It makes you think about an idea or a concept or something, in the world that would affect us. Like a lot of people, like that's why I sort of like things that like push them. Like I stand-up comics. I like the edgier guys that are willing to that don't have a problem with audiences being uncomfortable. Like I'm like that just sort of with any performer. I enjoy that. Make me think about something. And books and movies are very...
That's what they're supposed to do.
They are very visceral mediums that can really make you feel something and really make you consider something. Sorry, I got something buzzed on my phone. I was like, oh, maybe it's important.
Something's important.
It was not important.
It was
a
important.
spam email. So I'm really glad that petered out my point. But yeah, so that's all I'm saying. I think art should make people feel uncomfortable. And I think 8th graders are, I think they're old enough to start having this conversation.
Yeah.
And especially in the States, I think it's really important for them to have a better understanding of that word and its history.
In this day and age, I think,
I mean, everyone should. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But you're right. It's a little different up in Canada than down in the States.
So. This topic needs to be, understood more, not less.
Yep. Yeah. Absolutely.
And I don't think anybody is going to read this book and say, oh, this was, last week. This stuff is happening today. I'm like, no. This,
Well, I mean... It kind of is. Kinda. There's still racists out there who just who would have no problem dropping an N-bomb at some guy and just assuming that he's guilty because of the color of his skin, and
that's just so bizarre to me. But
yeah, okay. I wouldn't do that either. But, there are definitely people who do.
If he's wearing a hoodie, then okay, but...
I don't think those are Skittles. Taste my rainbow. Oh, God, it tastes like lead.
Oh.
And copper. It tastes like pennies. Well, that was a really inappropriate joke. All the good I've done this whole time.
Completely undone.
Undid it.
Yeah. Well... That's enough of that.
All right. So those are sort of our sad ones. Now we have a less depressing one.
We're going to take it up a notch now. AirAsia.
I like that. Take it as a little pun.
We're going to take it up to AirAsia. Plummets 20,000 feet and the passengers are upset that the flight attendants are concerned about this.
Yes. Turns out that the passengers didn't realize that the flight attendants, not robots, actual human beings who are scared of dying too. How dare they have a human reaction to a traumatic situation?
Fair enough, but at the same time, to play the devil's advocate, or to play on the passenger side, you're a flight attendant. Should you not know what's going on, in the air? If as it plummets 20,000 feet, that's...
Yeah, sure. They were, you're trained. You have a theoretical understanding of things, right? And then as soon as that plane drops 20,000 feet, all bets are off. All bets are off.
Yeah, so I might question, did the pilots not make the...
I don't know what the pilots...
The flight crew aware of it?
Oxygen masks deployed.
Yeah, well...
And then someone on the cabin crew started shouting at the passengers to get down, which is apparently in line with what they were supposed to do.
Get down?
That's...
down on the ground, or...?
Passengers get down, passengers get down. Such instructions are in line with routine flight crew practice when seeking to quickly secure passenger safety. I think by get down, they mean the tuck thing, put your head between your knees thing. Is that not what they do?
If
I've never been on a plane that was going to crash.
That's bracing for an impact. That's certainly not what you should be doing if the plane is just rapidly descending. From what I'm reading here, they had a pressurization problem with the plane, so they had to descend from 34,000, where you don't have enough oxygen up that high.
Right.
They needed to descend. They went down to, it says 10,000 feet.
Yeah.
Where you can actually breathe the air at 10,000 feet. It's a little bit woozy inducing, but
that's why they have those oxygen masks.
That's why they have those oxygen. Yeah. So, and if the pilot's just doing rapid descent down to there, Don't worry about it. We've all been on roller coasters. It's no worse than that.
No one's ever died on a roller coaster.
No what?
Says someone who lives in Edmonton.
Oh.
For those of you too young to know, people died on roller coasters in Edmonton.
In
a mall.
Edmonton.
We
It was in a mall.
have mall roller coasters here. All of our malls have roller coasters. It's a zoning thing.
It's too cold to have them outside, so we have them inside.
They're all in malls.
Yeah. So that's
actually almost true.
this is my criticism here is that the pilot should have given much better instructions as to what was going on, should have communicated much better. I'm just reading a footnote down here. In June, a pilot urged passengers to pray after a technical issue caused massive shaking on an AirAsia flight from Malaysia headed to Perth.
Well, it probably couldn't do that if the flight had anything to do with Quebec. Be better, Quebec. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, AirAsia, you need better flight training for your pilots.
Yeah.
I'm
You're
gonna
right. Sort of thinking about it again, like if it was...
I'm blaming the pilots.
Yeah, if it was like a controlled descent...
Yeah, and they keep using the word plummet.
Yeah, maybe don't say plummet.
Well, CNN's not going to get people to go to their website if they don't use plummet.
Well, I mean, I bet you everyone used plummet. I don't know. The only article I have, though, is from...
Rapidly descended.
Yeah. Well, plummet means the same thing, right?
There's...
I know there's connotation
Hang on.
to it, but...
Yeah, there's some connotation of lack of control.
In a plummet, yeah.
In a plummet, right?
They could say a controlled plummet.
Controlled plummet. See, I would be fine with that.
I wouldn't.
That would be fine.
So you want to do a sponsor?
We've got sponsor. You did a lot more writing.
I'm a prolific writer.
Prolific writer.
Are you a prolific reader?
I'm not a prolific reader.
So it's the third episode, so we did what every Podunk podcast did early on, and that's get sponsors.
We got sponsors.
You're getting mad bank for this.
Scratch.
Not even a little bit true. So, Jeremy, tell us who our first sponsors.
Today's podcast is brought to you by Philosis Mattresses. Do you hate salesmen? Like, hate them? Me too, especially when I'm exhausted after a night of tossing and turning, unable to find a comfortable position to sleep in. There's nothing worse than hopping behind the wheel of a 2,000-pound killing machine after 3 straight weeks of 2 hours per night and trying to stay awake while driving through school zones and avoiding drivers who are too busy texting to see that I have the right of way or are too into themselves to think that maybe a gentle honk is all I need to wake up after the light changes to green. No need to lay on your horn. Making it through crosswalks, on-off ramps, driving to an area with bad lighting and worse asphalt, just to pull into a dingy strip mall so some salesman can foist himself and his need to sell me a mattress lest he go hungry for another week is kind of the thing that puts me really off traditional mattress sales. Pillow top, spring top, it's all just noises, as I can barely keep my eyes open to focus on the parasite. Well, Philosis...
Yep, that sounds
Philosis has disrupted the mattress buying arena. Founded in 1987 by Jim Philosis, Jim saw that these exhausted, irritable customers hated being in his stores and talking to his salesman, and had the idea of buying a mattress without human input or interaction. 30 years later, his dream has become a reality. Jim found little success in opening stores that just had a credit card reader and an honor system to help people get the most competitive price with the least amount of talking. Jim Philosis took the next logical step: vending machines. Mattress vending machines. These guys gave us money. Still holding an unofficial world record for the largest mattress vending machine, he has since moved on to online mattress sales. We're in the 21st century now. Right. Philosis mattresses have been engineered to fold up and fit into a size 11 shoebox so it can be shipped to your door for the lowest shipping rates in the industry. Philosis mattress is made of space-age polymer that reacts to your body, providing it the things that the mattress senses that your body needs.
Yeah, that was a really awkward sentence to write.
It was a very awkward sentence to read.
Yeah, it was.
You'll no longer think about beds in terms of firm or soft, but in terms of how does it feel when I can't stop thinking about my crippling debt and how much I hate my job. Try a Filosis mattress today and find out for yourself. They didn't provide a URL, so you'll just have to Bing it. On checkout, enter the promo code BNZ, or BNZ here in Canada, for 15% off your first purchase. That's promo code BNZ. Filosis mattresses. They'll reduce your suicidal ideation by 30% or your money back.
Not bad for our first
Right?
sponsor, Filosis mattresses.
Filosis mattresses.
Bing them. Or
Go look them up.
AOL keyword them.
AOL keyword them. Ha!
All right. So it's tech time.
Tech has failed us again.
Yep. So, Wi-Fi security has been breached. So that means if you have a phone and it is connected wirelessly to something, someone near you, also with a phone or other device, can capture your data as it's floating around in the Wi-Fi,
That
grab it,
floating.
and then they can open it up and read it.
Like a Kinder Surprise.
Just like a Kinder Surprise. And then they'll choke on a piece of plastic and no one gets any more Kinder Surprises.
Hang on. Is Kinder Surprises outlawed in U.S. or Canada?
In the States.
In the States, you
because
can't
they
get-
kill people. 3 people died today. Whatever. You know. Not from Kinder Surprise. Just throwing that out there.
No, because we banned them.
Yeah. Well, I guess banning
Good
works.
thing. Hey,
Proof positive. When's the last time someone died from Kinder Surprise in the States?
also, you know
Google that. Or
what we should do instead of like banning face covering? Just have everybody carry guns.
Yeah.
Then you'll be safe.
Then we're all safer.
Right.
A well-armed society is a safe society. That's what I...
digress.
Sorry, USA. Be better, just like Quebec. Both of you.
There's a lot of people in this world that need to be better right now. I can barely take it. So,
Sorry, I'm Googling Kinder Surprise death stats.
we're going to really follow that rabbit trail.
Yeah, that's how I do.
Yeah. So what's the deal with the vulnerability? Do they both have to be connected to the same Wi-Fi access?
Presumably.
Network.
Well, no, I don't know. It just said it was just a proximity thing. But
Yeah, because if they're talking about the authentication scheme,
they cracked WPA2 basically. Well, not cracked it, but there's exploits in WPA2, which is what everybody uses to connect to Wi-Fi.
like everybody, unless you use WEP, which is basically
Nobody uses a WEP because that's
basically plain text.
yeah. If you were using WEP, your stuff was getting read already, so who cares?
So don't worry about it.
So you're
It's all right.
fine.
You're fine. Yeah. So for anybody who's a little bit curious about these acronyms here, WPA2 and WEP, these are the encryption algorithms that the devices use to encrypt the data that's going back and forth in your passwords and all the rest.
Credit card numbers.
Credit card numbers, banking information. It's okay. Equifax already leaked all that stuff.
That's
out.
fair.
So
That actually relates to a different article that I read and didn't actually post, or maybe I should have grabbed it. But it's about changing the face of I can't even think of the word now. Computer security, and making it more about computer threat awareness. It's basically the idea now is that your information, websites are just going to get hacked. You have to deal with that.
Yeah.
And you just have to be aware that's going to happen. Just like you're aware that, banks get robbed and, things like that. And so there's like insurance and assurances in
against
place.
it,
And so it's going to take a big difference in, why can't I think of damn term. Whatever. Computer security professionals are going to have to start thinking about things a little bit differently.
Yeah. Well, it leads to a different way of doing things, right? So if you just operate under the assumption that at some point data is going to get accessed, you have to be thinking in terms of disaster recovery and threat mitigation. So disaster recovery being things like how are you going to recover when your live network gets ransomwared?
Yeah.
Right? Having those things in place so that when it happens, it's not as catastrophic as it's been to date.
And I mean, this is kind of a problem that we're seeing with like modern internet. So I'm sure you're aware of this, but when the internet first came out as like an idea, like back in the late 90s, and people could start getting on the World Wide Web, everything was decentralized, and that was the idea, right? Like information, you didn't give all of your information to one website. Nowadays, Google knows everything about me. Facebook knows everything about me. Because I'm not going to have my email one place and then a calendar someplace else and then, file storage someplace else. I'm obviously using Google here as a model because that's all I use. Like, they literally know everything about me.
Yep.
Because it's too inconvenient to have all these different logins. I can log in once and boom.
Oh.
I've got everything.
And all day long, I deal with clients who have the same password for every single login.
Yeah.
Right? So
people hate multiple logins. I get it. But
I get it. I understand it. I am, to a certain extent, guilty of it myself.
I use like a password manager, but if that ever gets cracked, then
there's still a single point of failure there too. It's becoming really difficult. And so, what's the next in terms of personal information security about your personal identification and your personal information? Until they come up with some new way to effectively do this, what, two-factor authentication? Is this?
Oh, I have 2FA set up on everything now.
I've got it on almost everything that's critical.
Every time, like basically every time I log into something on a new computer, I have to have my phone on me. Otherwise, I can't access anything.
Right. Having said that, even 2FA, the way you get around that is you just call the phone company and you tell them that you lost your phone and you need to copy that account information onto this new SIM and load up a new SIM, and voila, you get all the 2FA texts.
Sure do. I know that story. Who did that happen to? Someone big on Twitter. Were they like a...
I heard of the story through Linus.
I think it was maybe some sort of political person. I want to say maybe it was a BLM leader or something like that.
Oh.
But it was like someone, who has like a blue check mark next to their name on Twitter. And that was exactly how they got hacked. Was the guys called called the phone company, whoever it was, and was like, "Oh, I need a new SIM card." And they were like, "Okay," and they sent them a new SIM card. So then, when they tried to log in, the text just got sent to their phone. Right, like
immediately change all the and that could be like catastrophic if you start to get into some of those key services, especially email. Yeah,
so obviously 2FA is not perfect either. It's harder to do, although social engineering,
it's going
not
to
that hard to do. I mean, that's what hacking really is. Like, people are always like,
that's what it's turned into now. You can't get into a Mac or a PC really without
Wow, I'm just saying, like, hacking has sort of been social engineering forever, right? Like you have to be able to code a bit, or at least have an understanding of how networks work. And you need a technological base or a technical base in your head.
Right.
But so much of it is just convincing someone to give you a password.
Or part of a password.
My favorite thing was, it wasn't even, I think it was just an experiment. But people stood outside of a bank and offered people a piece of chocolate for their banking password, and people would do it for a free piece of chocolate. Like, that's how easy it is.
How dumb people. Now, okay, hang on. No, I need to know more about that. Like, they had to prove that it was the right banking information, or
I don't know. I'd have to look it up. This is something I read years ago. Here we go. It's from 2004, it looks like. Oh, maybe not. 2016. What the hell did I look at? That was from 2004. Oh, nope. There is one from 2004. More than 70% of people would reveal their computer password. Sorry, it wasn't their banking password. It was just their computer password, but still. More than 70% of people would reveal their computer password in exchange for a bar of chocolate. It also showed that 34% of respondents volunteered their password when asked without even needing to be bribed.
But how do you know that they're telling, like...
Don't know. I mean, I don't know, like, exactly what the protocol is. Like, I don't know that they had to necessarily sit down and, like check it.
Yeah, my Facebook password's Sparkle Kitten. Where's my chocolate, damn it?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Crap, I actually like that password. Now I can't use it.
You shouldn't have been using that anyway. That's a terrible password. Here. I'll post this article from 2004. So if anyone wants to read it, they can. And if they don't want to, they don't have to. Because I'm not their mom. Probably.
You'd make a terrible mother.
I would be a very bad mother, yes. One bad mama. One bad mother. Shut your mouth. God, this page is so old it doesn't even have like a preview. The .stm. God, this page is ancient. At any rate, so yeah, if people would give up passwords and like pet names and mother's maiden names and kids' names for nothing or for chocolate. So yeah, and this was back in 2004, and you're probably thinking to yourself, "Oh, we're way more savvy now."
No, we're not.
We're just as dumb.
We're just as dumb. I'm almost convinced we've gotten dumber.
Well, I mean,
technology keeps getting more advanced so that we can get dumber.
Yeah, I mean that's part of it, but also there's less value on. We hold personal privacy to be less valuable than we used to. People who've grown up with the internet, you need to give your information to every website you go to.
They're acclimatized to it,
and they're just used to it, right?
Yeah.
Like people like me, probably our generation and older, because like I was in high school, when the internet started to actually become popular, like grade 10, I think. Because I remember I was like a co-sys op of like a BBS in the 10th grade. And so that was about the right time for the internet to come out. So we still were, we were sort of led to believe that our personal information is private and important and valuable, and don't just give it away. And I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm still guilty of it, but I'm really hesitant of it. I'm much better now than I was. Like obviously Facebook has my stuff and Google has all my stuff, but those are probably the only sites where it's got like a ton of my information.
You have to get to a certain size. And but
like a lot of people will just be like, "Oh, I want to watch this video," and they want my personal information to watch a video. Like some sites, right?
Sure,
will do that, and a lot of people without a second thought will, sure, here you go.
Right.
I've seen surveys that were literally just like fishing expeditions for like maiden names and pet names and things like that, right? Like I've seen forums that are just like they were literally just basically asking you answers to security questions.
Yeah. Man. Okay, so now why is it okay that Google and Facebook have all of our...
I don't think it's okay.
Is it not? Is it... Okay, two-part question.
Sure.
Part one, is it okay or not? And we might have accidentally skipped to that answer. Part two, scale-wise, video site on the website, I want to see the video of the cats, so I put in my information versus I want to, log into my Facebook, so I have all my personal information there.
Yeah, I mean the thing is,
which one?
I don't like. Okay, I don't think it's okay that we are. Basically, what's happened is our personal information has become a form of currency. It's how we pay for websites, right? So the reason Google and YouTube and Facebook and every website you use is free is because they sell your personal information. That is how they make their money.
Right.
And then people target ads at you.
Now,
Yeah.
don't you... I think we've gotten a little bit... it's almost misleading to say they sell your personal information. They don't sell your first and last name and how old you are and where you live.
Right.
Right. What they're selling is the metrics of your user.
Yeah,
right.
They're selling your. I had the word in my head and it's gone.
Your.
Your demographic. That's what they're doing.
Yeah, they're selling your demographic information, right?
Yeah.
And that's a double-edged sword, right? Like there's parts of that I appreciate that Google uses. I appreciate that Google profiles me, and when I search for something, I actually find it faster, the pertinent information faster, because they're tailoring the search algorithm to my specific user, right? That actually makes my life easier.
Sure. I mean, all this stuff makes our lives easier.
Right. So it's not all bad.
I don't like the. So one of the things I don't like is like scanning text. So stuff that you type in on Facebook. So if you type something into, like, say you're creating a status.
Yep.
And you type it out, you change your mind, you delete it, you don't post it. Facebook has a record of what you typed in there. That's in a database.
Yeah.
You don't have to submit anything.
It's in there as soon as you type it.
If you have webmail, your webmail is being scanned for keywords by Google, Yahoo, whoever you're with, Hotmail, GeoCities. Probably not GeoCities. They probably didn't have that level of technology.
How old are you?
Right. And that's the kind of thing that I really don't appreciate. Like that is an invasion of my privacy as far as I'm concerned. Like a big invasion of my privacy.
Right.
I don't care so much that they know how old I am, I guess, and that they're targeting ads to me. I have an ad blocker for that very reason. So,
yeah. Okay, so I guess the question that I'm struggling with is, it's absolutely invasion of privacy. Why is it bad?
Well, because we should value our, things. Things should be personal, and we're running into a situation where people are forgetting that, and they're just sharing everything on the internet, and then I don't know. I don't really. It's such a hard question to answer.
Right? Because I think there is something bad about it, but I'm not sure A, of the severity of how bad it is, and two, I'm not sure why it's bad.
God, I just don't like it. I just don't.
Right. Well,
I just don't want people to know things about me unless I know who they are. I don't like
Yeah.
strangers knowing things about me, and that's
I
think what it comes down to for me.
And that's probably one of the more articulated thoughts on the issue. And why does it matter whether or not strangers know things about you?
Because it's none of their damn business.
No, it isn't any of their business, but it doesn't hurt you.
It could. I mean, there could be blowback. Who knows? Like
Maybe.
You're right. Like it's not. They aren't selling my name yet. As far as we're assuming, but it's still that information is still tied to me in a database somewhere, right? And if that database ever gets exploited, and it will,
to what end?
Identity theft. If someone knows if someone has access to my Facebook profile, how hard is it to pretend to be me? You see it all the time where people.
Come on. It's pretty hard to pretend to be you.
Online, it's not. All you got to do is
get
into fights or get into arguments on Twitter with strangers.
Yeah. Well,
and this is like so off topic. It's not even about the Wi-Fi thing, although it kind of is because that's also an invasion of privacy.
It's the ramifications of our failing security.
Yeah.
And
So
failing
So
privacy,
it's the
right?
issue of
we got it back.
It's the issue of decentralization, right? And that's sort of how we went down this rabbit hole, right? So if all your information is centralized, then you only have to access one database to get all of your information, which is bad. And that's sort of how we have to look at security. Is like you talk about ransomware, the way you recover from that is from having backups, like daily backups on remote sites, right? That is, you are decentralizing essentially your information, right? Mm-hmm. And so there's value in that on an individual level. Like if you have like all of us, and I mean, I don't do this, but all of us that have a PC, we should be doing the same thing, having daily backups, or at least, regular backups that are stored on a drive that aren't connected to the internet. So if something does happen to so if you do get a ransomware infection, and this is really the thing that you need to worry about probably more than anything nowadays, if you do get a ransomware infection, you can just go, oh, okay, wipe your drive, and then put everything on, and you lose like a week's worth of whatever.
Right.
But I don't do that. 'Cause that's a lot of work, and I'm super lazy, which is something I mentioned last week, and it's still true this week. I'm still lazy.
You haven't gotten unlazy
I haven't gotten less.
In the last week,
I haven't gotten less lazy.
We're just as lazy as
I've
we
maybe
ever
gotten
were.
more lazy, if anything.
All right. Well,
so that's all that. Did I post this one?
That stuff. Which one?
Oh, I didn't post the vulnerability article. Let's do that real quick. Yes.
Where are you posting that to?
Just to the Bourbon and Zeppelins Facebook page. If you're watching this and you aren't on Facebook right now, go to facebook.com/Bourbon and Zeppelins. Spell it all out, all words, no ampersands or anything like that.
We're putting the link on YouTube, right?
Oh, probably. Yeah, I think it's, we should be. If we're not, I will.
We definitely should be.
We definitely should be. I'm just trying to remember, because you can set things up to have like default values. I think by default I have it in there in the description, but I might be wrong. I'll double check that.
Perfect. If you're watching this on YouTube.
If you're watching this on YouTube, please check the description, because it should be there. I'll make sure it's there. But yeah, facebook.com/Bourbon and Zeppelins. If you would like to follow us on Twitter, and God knows why you'd want to do that, it is twitter.com/BNZ show. Letter B, letter N, letter Z, or Z, depending on where you're from, show.
We could have American followers.
We could. We don't currently, but we could one day. And those are really the only two things we need to tell you about. We do have a YouTube channel. If you're watching this on Facebook and you want to watch this later, maybe.
If you want to watch our back catalog, you'll find it all on YouTube.
I will say this, though. I'm going to do a clever marketing thing.
It's about time we did some.
Yeah, we're going to do something clever. And this is sort of happening accidentally because I'm an idiot and I keep forgetting to record the show locally. So, Again. I noticed like half an hour in again. So what's going to happen is Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Mountain Time is when we do the live show, the live stream on Facebook.
True.
Follow us on Facebook. Watch us on Facebook to see us live. I will post a lower quality version of this video on Facebook because I need to download it from Facebook, so it winds up being kind of low quality. And I will upload it to YouTube so you can watch it on YouTube at a later date. So I'm going to target Saturdays. So I don't have to do it tonight. So I can go home when this show is done and go to sleep. And then I can wake up on Saturday, download it from Facebook, upload it to YouTube.
Get it up and
so you can watch. So starting, that's the deal.
That's
live on Wednesdays on Facebook, facebook.com/Bourbon and Zeppelins. You can actually also watch archive shows on the Facebook page immediately after that and in the same quality that it is live. Or if you really desperately want to watch this on YouTube, wait till Saturday, watch a lower quality version of the recording. Your call.
Eventually it'll be a high quality of the recording.
No. No, we're driving everyone. We're driving everyone to the live show on Facebook. Drive everyone to the Facebook page. You can watch it in high quality after the fact on Facebook. Join the Facebook community. That's what I say.
Give all your information.
Give all of your information to
Facebook.
Facebook. Give us some of that information. Why don't you?
Join us on Facebook.
Like our page. Follow our page. Every Wednesday, 8 o'clock. Watch us live. You can interact with us. You can send us. You can comment on things on the Facebook page. I think that's how Facebook works, right? And hopefully we'll see that. Otherwise, but if also if you're on Facebook, just search for us on YouTube and maybe subscribe to that page. We need 100 followers to get a URL that's not a random string of characters, which is why I'm not telling you where to go to YouTube. I could tell you, but it's
UC0ILGTJWEOZGND6XRO990QW.
Yeah, that's it.
We're there.
Hold on, here I can. I'll throw it on the screen real quick here. There.
All right.
There, it's at the top. Okay, Kickstarter.
wanna-
Or do you want me to do the promo?
We got another. It's a nice, quick.
I haven't read this one.
Nice,
so.
quick sponsor.
Oh, no, wait. I opened the wrong one. I was like, this is just as long as the one I wrote you. Wait, that's the one I wrote. All right. So, another sponsor. I got to move this to this page so I'm making eye contact with you guys, sort of.
Just below eye contact.
Okay, there we go. Harmony Hogs. Ethically raised and responsibly brought to market, Harmony Hogs pork products can be enjoyed with the full knowledge that their pigs have lived a full and comfortable life. Caring for the pigs on their happy farm, nestled in the heartland of Canada, their vegan farmhands ensure that the pigs spend their days romping and rolling in nothing but the finest Ecuadorian mud. Waiting for the pigs to pass through the natural life courses, Harmony Hogs ensures that the pigs are satisfied to pass on the bounty of their bodies to the benefit of our plates. Harmony Hogs, because it's just happier when it's aged. I'm like a professional voiceover guy.
That sounded good.
Actually, I am a professional voiceover guy.
I know.
I've been paid for voiceover.
Excellent. Kickstarter Crystal Ball.
Kickstarter Crystal Ball. It's everyone's favorite.
Wait a minute. The movie theater still doesn't have any backing?
Still no backing on the movie theater. Hold on a sec. I gotta get everything. Oh my god, I got so many windows open right now.
Close the window.
Nope. There we go. Okay, so
3D, 4D, to all the way to 9D interactive movie theater. First phase.
Phase 1.
Trying to raise $25,000 for the first phase of a movie theater, which the first phase is actually just finding out what they're going to do. They still have 40 days. 0 backers, $0, but they've got 40 days.
Yeah. They are. I'm still going with my theory that they're not going to make it. I'm not changing. I'm not changing my prediction.
No, I'm sticking with my prediction. I'll agree with you there.
Okay, cool.
All right,
cool.
what else we got here?
So up next, I am going to. So this is last week. So obviously this one's not going to make it. It's the Super Mario 2 one. Their funding got canceled literally hours before we did the show, and I didn't pick a new one. And the other one that I had that week was just inappropriate for families. That one I actually did think was going to make it. So this week we are going with the first one, world's first immersive smart capture binoculars. Here, I'll slack the link to you.
I got it.
You got it? Well, I just
World's first immersive smart capture binoculars.
So every week I comb Kickstarter, and basically I look at like new stuff, and I try to find stuff that I wind up falling into this trap of picking stuff that I think is garbage, or is like really, really dumb, and definitely won't make it. So this time I picked something that is not garbage at first blanch. So this is.
does it turn out to be garbage? Because I'm looking at this and
I don't know. I don't know. Like, we'll go through it.
Okay.
So basically, this is binoculars that you cram your phone into.
Mm-hmm.
You put your smartphone in it, and it magnifies things like binoculars do. So you can see things far away with your phone. You can record things onto your phone far away. You can take a picture with things on your phone of things that are far away.
Hang on a sec here. It doesn't. It just uses your phone's camera.
Yep.
It doesn't actually put a lens in front of your phone's camera.
No, it must.
I don't think it does.
No, it must. I literally didn't read down that far. I just assumed that there was a lens there.
Good.
Like, why would there not be a lens there? Well, if that's the case, then this is really... That's beyond dumb. Hold on, I'm watching a GIF right now. She clamps it in, shuts the thing. Okay, hold on. Find lens. Okay. With IQ, simply slide your smartphone into the IQ Mixed Reality Smart Viewer. Jesus, what a name. Look through the lenses, and voila. There must be lenses. It's the only...
But
it's only... That word lens is only on the page once. I don't see a lens in this picture.
I see a lens behind, like, so you're looking through a lens at the smartphone display.
Yeah. Is it just like magnifying the display? That can't be right.
That's what I'm seeing. Please,
Oh God,
like,
it does look like that though.
That's got to
doesn't
be
it?
wrong.
That can't be right.
That can't be the way it's working.
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna play the video, which no one can hear because I don't think I have. Okay, hold on. Skip through the video.
This has to be.
Well, it's got like its own interface. Like it looks like it has its own OS.
Use
Zoom in out capabilities.
Yeah, so your
touchpad controls phone's camera. Oh Jesus. So instead of having to like pinch with your fingers, it just has something that tells the phone to do that, basically. Right? So instead of doing the little expandy gesture, it just has a piece of software that accesses your camera and zooms it for you. And now you've got this giant thing. You could have just had binoculars. But now you're carrying around this giant case that is useless without a phone. Useless without it. I imagine this has to wreak havoc on your battery.
Oh, sure.
But I mean, I guess it's maybe no more than just recording normally would wreak havoc on it. Although it does seem as though it's running another piece of software alongside your camera. And I don't know if the viewer has its own battery, the IQ. Maybe is it using the battery of the phone?
Oh no, it really is just.
Yeah, okay. Just slip your smartphone into the IQ, and suddenly you can shoot the action while viewing it in eye-popping HD. IQ's advanced optics magnify your screen up 16 times, so you can view the live event in HD. You know what else views a live event in HD?
My eyeball?
Your normal eyeballs, with nothing there. That is as HD as it gets.
Oh no.
This sounds okay. You know what? I picked this and I was like, this doesn't sound half bad.
Well, and
this is pretty reasonable.
People think the same way this looks, and this.
If you don't read the page, this sounds like a great idea. You're like, yeah.
Yeah, except they've designed it exactly backwards.
Yeah.
You should have binoculars.
Like, what good does it do to film through this? Because they talk about like filming like your kid's dance recital.
It's the same as holding up your.
Except now you look like a jerk, holding up like, what is that thing?
No,
on your face?
I actually don't think you look that. I think it enhances what you look like because
it hides your face a bit. People don't know who you are.
If you scroll down,
Yeah.
far enough,
Yes.
under our inspiration. Inspiration for the IQ came from a galaxy far, far away in the original Star Wars.
Jesus, this is why this has 103 backers.
Exactly.
This is why it has backers.
That's brilliant. Now the thing is,
Well, Chewbacca's on it too, right? On the page. says Chewy. Chewy says you should back the IQ.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah, Chewy's there.
Features.
See, but if you notice how Luke's
that's a link.
holding the camera there, he's holding it exactly like this IQ, except backwards. The lenses are in front, and Luke's just looking at a display. And that's how they should have designed it, right?
Yeah.
This could have been like a phenomenal
Lost my ability to use the computer.
product
There we go.
if they had some really great optics, some really great lenses that put a picture right onto the camera sensor of the phone, and then display it on the phone displays now are so huge and so clear. Mm-hmm. That's going to be as good as you want to see.
Well, I mean, you can already buy, like, if you're a photographer, you can buy like nice lenses that go over
They
your
just clip on the camera.
that clip on your camera.
Looks great.
And
but
looks,
if they had
really
something
good.
that controlled it, I don't even know that you want to mess with. I was going to say image stabilization. But smartphones these days have that already built in.
Yeah, it'll get a little herky jerky if you're all zoomed in. Like if you had a lens in front of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. It would definitely cause some stabilization issues.
So maybe if you had increased image stabilization.
Maybe. But yeah, this is dumb and backwards. Like, this should just be a piece of cardboard. Like Google Glass.
I was just going to say, Google's already put this out.
Like, well, yeah, and it's better because it's VR and it's a piece of cardboard with a lens in it.
So what do they want to spend the $25,000 on?
Jesus. Who cares? I'm so angry about this now.
Makes me angry.
Well, I thought this would be okay, and it's just terrible. Oh, it does augmented reality. Maybe.
So
will the IQ support AR apps? Ooh, it's AR enabled and compatible with any AR content. Well, of course it is, because my phone is.
That's what it is. This is just a VR. This is just a VR headset without the strap.
Well, it's not even VR. Like, I mean, AR is just an overlay, right?
Right. But if you actually loaded up any of the VR apps in this thing and held it up to your eyes, it would do the same thing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, that's very true.
I might be talking out my butt on that one because VR
No,
actually split it into two.
Yeah, you need to have a special lens.
Yeah,
That's
so
why
you
you
have to
need
have-
like a Google Glass or something like that.
Well, depending on what kind of lenses this silly
Like
thing
if you
has
want to
on the
do it
front
off of
of
your
it.
phone. Like, I don't know what these lenses do.
It looks like it's
I
just
think
one
they're just
lens.
magnifying lenses. I think it's two magnifying. I think they went to like, you know, when you're like at a checkout and you can buy those little credit card sized,
Yeah.
like reconnection successful. That's good news. We were
we
probably. I don't think we ever felt. We probably didn't drop out of the live stream because we were probably buffered enough, and we was only down for like 5 seconds.
Oh, excellent.
So I think we're okay. Hopefully, I don't know. I should actually maybe take a quick peek.
See what's up there.
Oh yeah, if you want to take a look or whatever, or if you're.
All right, so that.
Tell me about this. So do you think? All right, so we were both pretty much on the same page that this is.
This is a silly project, but at first glance, it looked really interesting. So, and they've already got 103 people. They got 28 days to go.
They hit 40% of their goal or something, right?
Yep. Somewhere around. Yeah, that seems about right.
Here we are.
So.
Okay, yeah, we're still streaming. Good, we're still streaming. We're still live. Okay. Yeah, so it hit. They have a month to go. There's Star Wars references on this page. And if you don't read the page, boy, does it sound cool.
If you don't look too closely, it looks really cool.
If you actually look at what it does, this is the most disappointing thing.
If you put too much critical thought into it, it can be really disappointing really
This is
fast.
such a letdown.
It makes
I'm
it a curious.
sad about it.
It makes it a curious prediction. Then, do you think they're going to make it?
Yeah.
You think there are enough people that are going to go with this one? Hey.
Yeah, I think so. Hold on. If I go to their update page, they hit 40% of the goal in the first 14 hours. This launched today.
This launched today?
Yeah, like I literally searched newest.
Oh, they're going to get it.
Yeah.
They're going to get it.
Because people don't read shit. But y'all got to read things, people, if you're going to kickstart
Critical
something.
thought. Critical thought.
Episode.
As soon as you realize that this has no more physical capability than your phone's existing camera,
Yeah.
I don't know.
You could just buy, like, how much does a magnifying glass cost?
Little receipt readers at the grocery store.
Right? Like, that's all you really need to get HD quality.
I know.
Like, if your phone's not HD, first of all, if your phone's not HD, this is just going to be a pixely mess.
Ooh.
Right?
Compatible with the iPhone 4?
What isn't? Yeah,
all right.
This is terrible. Yeah, I think it'll go. I think it's a bad idea.
I think it's a bad idea, and I think it's gonna reach its funding. So the question is then, will it ever ship? I don't know.
Well, what is there to this? I mean,
oh, if it's got an app and it's hard, you can mess that stuff up so easily.
That's true. I keep forgetting that.
And 25,000.
It is more than
a lot.
It is more than just a.
If they're developing an app
with a
25 grand is not going to go a long way to get both an app and prototyped hardware out.
Do they have risks and challenges? What do they got here? They've previously submitted apps that work with this technology and the touchpad.
All right.
They've spent the last 24 months developing the IQ.
That's
and 24 months, and nobody went, hey, shouldn't the lens be on the other side of the camera? Nobody raised their hand and was like, wait, what am I looking at right now? Did you just magnify my screen for me?
It's really cool, though.
That blows my mind. They have 10 pre-production prototype units out.
That's all right.
So, I mean, I actually think they will succeed at shipping. I think they'll ship.
Well, I hope so. I mean, there's so many toys out there that are disappointing when you actually get your hands on them.
Ooh, let's read the comments page. Wow. No one's asked the question. So the super early bird reward is only for the US apparently, which someone doesn't like. And it is compatible with the iPhone, Galaxy, and Samsung S5. Some guy wanted it for a Samsung S5, and there was a miscommunication.
Wow.
Yeah. All right. Okay, well, that's our show. We really trimmed it down. We're an hour 17 right now.
That still feels like par for our...
That's 20 minutes less than last time, if we stop talking now, which we won't. So that's episode 3 of Bourbon and Zeppelins in the can. We are done. Woohoo! Check us out on Facebook, facebook.com/Bourbon and Zeppelins, all one big long word spelled out. Search for us on YouTube if you want to watch stuff on YouTube. Subscribe to us there so we can one day I think we have 3 subscribers, maybe 4 on YouTube.
We're 2 of them.
We're 2 of them, and the third one I think is a sex bot. But subscriber's a subscriber. So if we get 100 more, if we get 97 more sex bots to subscribe to our YouTube channel,
we'll get it up and running.
Then we can have a custom URL and it doesn't have to be a random string. Check us out on Twitter if you want. Twitter.com/BNZ show. Every Wednesday live on Facebook, 8 p.m. Mountain Time. Later and lower quality on YouTube, just for you. All right. That's the whole thing. I'm going to click stop streaming.